For 2 nights, an entire neighborhood was terrified by a strange cry coming from beneath the street. They thought it was a ghost calling in the darkness, but what they discovered inside the manhole would not only save a dog's life, it would bring a forgotten soldier back to his family. After midnight, the city became quiet enough for people to hear what they ignored. For 2 nights, residents heard a mysterious sound coming from the street. A long, weak cry. A cry that sounded almost human. Some people whispered that the place was haunted. Others avoided walking near the old manhole where the sound seemed to come from. But on the 3rd night, a homeless man named Michael arrived at the same street carrying a worn-out blanket and a small bag containing everything he owned. The people around him did not know that years ago, Michael was once a respected war veteran who served his country with honor. The scars of war had followed him home. His memories became his greatest enemy, and slowly he disappeared from the family that never stopped loving him. As he prepared his sleeping place beside the sidewalk, he heard the same cry. At first, he laughed nervously. "Who's trying to scare an old man like me?" he whispered. But when he listened carefully, he realized the sound was not coming from the shadows. It was coming from below him. From the manhole. His curiosity overcame his fear. He walked toward it and tried to lift the heavy cover with his bare hands, but his body was weak from years of living on the streets. A store owner noticed him struggling and came outside. "What are you doing?" the man asked. "Listen carefully," Michael replied. Both of them became silent. Then they heard it. A desperate cry begging to be found. Together, they opened the manhole. When they looked inside, their hearts shattered. A dog was trapped in darkness, covered in mud and dirty water. It was thin and weak, almost impossible to recognize as a dog. Without thinking about his own safety, Michael climbed down and reached out his arms. "Don't be afraid. I'm here now," he said. The frightened dog slowly moved toward him. That moment changed both of their lives. A local journalist witnessed the rescue and started recording. The next morning, the video spread across the country. Millions watched the veteran clean the dog, share his food, and let it sleep beside him. But the cameras only captured a small part of their story. What the world did not see were the quiet nights after everyone had gone home. A lonely man and an abandoned dog slept together under the same old blanket. Every morning, the dog woke him gently, and they shared every little meal they had. On cold nights, they slept together under the same old blanket. And the man who had lost everything became the dog's entire world. Days later, something unexpected happened. A woman watching the news suddenly dropped her cup and started crying. She recognized the homeless man on the television. It was her husband. For years, she and their children had searched everywhere for him. They never stopped hoping that one day they would hear his voice again. With the help of the media, they found the street where Michael was staying. The reunion was broadcast live. As cameras surrounded him, Michael looked confused. Then he heard a voice he had not heard for many years. "Daddy." Everything around him became silent. He slowly turned around and saw his daughter standing there with tears running down her face. At that moment, something inside him awakened. He was no longer just a homeless man. He was a father. For a moment, his pain disappeared. He remembered that he was not forgotten. He was a father whose family had waited for him. The dog whimpered and wagged its tail as if it knew his friend was finally home. His family embraced both Michael and the dog. because they knew that without this little animal, they might never have found the man they had been searching for. People across the country offered help. His former military unit helped him receive treatment and support. The dog stayed beside him every single day. It waited outside his room and stayed beside him through every hardship. Their bond became a symbol of healing. The dog was proof that kindness could bring a lost life back into the light. Years later, Michael recovered enough to return to his military family not as a soldier on the battlefield, but as a trainer who guided young recruits using his experience and wisdom. And beside him, every single day, was the dog who had once cried alone in a dark manhole. A dog he had rescued. A dog who rescued him in return. Sometimes, the ones we save become the very ones who save us. Love does not need words, blood, or a shared language to heal a broken heart. A single act of kindness can lead someone lost in darkness back into the light. Do you believe that animals can change a person's life and bring back the parts of them that were once lost? Share your thoughts in the comments.